I helped billion-dollar brands survive cancel culture, but I couldn't stop one woman with a smartphone. Her name is Victoria Harlow, HOA board member, self-declared moral watchdog of the neighborhood, and right now she's live streaming from her porch. Alert. This man has been sneaking around my property. Possible predator. She zooms in on a shaky video, blurry, poorly lit. The figure on screen. Me. Pausing, bending over to pick up a fallen wrench. Cut to my living room. Silence. Blue light on my face. TikTok view count climbing past 90,000. Comments screaming, "Creep. Arrest him. I don't flinch." Not yet. Because when Victoria pressed record, she started a war on the wrong screen. I moved here to disappear. Single-story house, no social media, no press, no noise, just birds in the morning and the slow creak of the front gate at dusk. Before this, I was everywhere. I managed online reputation for Fortune 500 companies. I knew how to spin headlines, extinguish firestorms, and bury bad press. But one day, I turned it all off. The feeds, the meetings, the noise. Now my world is smaller. I fix things. Machines, engines. Sometimes my neighbor's sprinkler system. People wave, I wave back. That's it. No more clients, no more narratives. Just quiet. Because out there the internet moves too fast. And here in this little corner of California, I thought I could finally breathe. In most neighborhoods, the HOA manages grass length and mailbox colors. Here, it runs like a courtroom with Victoria Harlow as self-appointed judge. She wasn't elected. She arrived. 1 week after moving in, she slid laminated packets under every door. The Harlow Code. A guide to visual harmony and moral standards. Her words. She introduced herself as head of ethical oversight. Not a real title, but no one questioned it. Not yet. She patrolled the block daily, filming dogs off-leash, noting whose trash bins weren't perfectly aligned, posting reminders in the group chat like commandments. One line stood out, "Online awareness is the first step toward real-world order." That's when I realized this wasn't a neighborhood, it was a broadcast studio. Grace Lynn was watering her plant's baby on her hip. She sat on her porch, rocked gently, began to breastfeed. Victoria filmed it, zoomed, cropped, added text in bold. Is this appropriate for a family neighborhood? By morning, it had 1.5 million views. Comments poured in. Some defended, most attacked. Grace was quiet at first. Then she stopped coming outside. 3 days later, her employer placed her on leave pending review. Victoria called it raising awareness, said it was just a conversation starter. But I remember the image, a woman holding her child blurred behind a caption she never asked for. That was the moment I stopped scrolling. Because if it wasn't her, it was going to be someone else. After Grace, I kept my head down, fixed my machines, took walks at dusk, avoided the HOA chat. I thought silence was safety. If I stayed quiet, I'd stay invisible. I was wrong. One morning, I found a photo of myself in the group thread, blurry from behind. Caption, unidentified male seen lingering near community mailbox. It was me checking for a package that never came. More photos followed. Me carrying tools, me unlocking my shed, me walking too slowly past a lawn. No accusations, just concerns. But they didn't need proof. They had angles. I wasn't a neighbor anymore. I was a subject, a thumbnail, a warning. And somewhere behind those cameras, Victoria was just getting started. I was fixing an old generator behind my shed. Camera off, gloves on, just focused work under the afternoon sun. Victoria filmed it. From her upstairs window. No sound, no context, just cuts and angles. She posted the clip with music slow, ominous, cinematic. Title, Strange Ritual Behind, Lot 14. People watched, replayed, commented. They saw me kneeling, wiring, turning, standing still for a second too long. To them, it wasn't repair. It was something darker. I read a comment, "Is he okay?" This feels cult-ish. That clip got 600,000 views in 2 days. No one asked what I was actually doing. They didn't have to. The edit had already told them what to believe. Hoi ChatGPT. By the end of the week, the clip had hit 400,000 views. Reddit threads. Facebook reposts. A tweet, "Who is the cult guy fixing machines behind the fence?" 30,000 likes. I became a hashtag. Not for something I said, not for anything I did, just for crouching down to grab a wrench. My name wasn't in the video, but my face was. Neighbors started watching differently. Conversations stopped when I walked by. One mom pulled her kid closer as I passed on the sidewalk. Victoria didn't need to accuse me directly. The internet did it for her. All she had to do was frame the shot and hit upload. I wasn't just Ethan anymore. I was that guy from the video. The email came at 6:12 a.m. Subject line, "Re-contract withdrawal." "We've decided to move in a different direction," it read. Concerns were raised about recent online visibility. No explanation, no apology, just distance. It was a restoration job, vintage Corvette, 6 months of prep. Gone in one sentence. I stared at the screen. Not angry, not shocked, just empty. This wasn't about truth anymore. It was about perception, optics, association. And nobody wanted to be associated with cult guy behind the shed. I had spent my whole career managing brands shaping stories. Now I was losing work because of a story I didn't write. Victoria posted another story that morning. Just a silhouette through my workshop window. Caption, "Still watching, still waiting." No context, no proof, just implication. Then came the group chat. Screenshots from Facebook. A thread titled, "Who is Ethan Cole?" Really, one neighbor asked if I'd been in the military. Another said I never smiled. Theories piled up. Maybe I was running a cult. Maybe I had cameras on their kids. Maybe I wasn't even my real name. She never said I was dangerous. She didn't have to. She built the frame and let others color it in. That's the trick with fear. It doesn't need facts. Just a face. And someone willing to whisper. It came at 2:43 a.m. No name, no number, just text. "Leave this neighborhood, or get exposed." I stared at the screen, thumb frozen. No punctuation, no typo. Just cold, calculated threat. I didn't reply, but I didn't sleep either. 48 hours. That's what the voice in my head kept saying. 2 days to decide, stay and fight or disappear again. I had lived in silence for years, but now even silence was a weapon. This wasn't about neighbors anymore, it was a countdown. One of us would break first, and somehow I knew Victoria had already started the clock. The headline read, "Neighborhood Concern Grows Over Strange Behavior in Suburbia." Channel 9. Midday segment. Victoria stood at the end of our cul-de-sac, arms folded, voice steady. She pointed toward my property. "Something isn't right," she said. "He's always out there doing things, cut to B-roll, blurry clips, me behind a fence, wrench in hand, back turned, then my face, frozen, pixelated, national." I watched it unfold from my kitchen, mug in hand, jaw locked. No one interviewed me, no one knocked on my door, but there I was on TV. Not a neighbor, not a man, just another mystery wrapped in narrative. Victoria didn't just upload me this time, she broadcasted me. I had installed cameras years ago, not for spying, just security. Until now, I'd barely touched the system. But that changed the night I saw my face on TV. I rewired every angle, checked storage, activated cloud backup, added 2 more lenses just to be sure. Then I started cataloging. Timestamps, dates, every clip she ever took, every post she ever made. It wasn't just self-defense anymore. It was preparation. Because if Victoria wanted a narrative, I'd give her one. But this time I'd control the edit. Quietly, deliberately, I began collecting truth in a world built on fragments. She was walking her dog, or pretending to. Victoria paused near my driveway, phone in hand, eyes scanning. She aimed the lens toward my shed, same angle as before, but this time she noticed something new, one of my cameras, visible, blinking. Her posture shifted, shoulders tightened, smile stiffened. She lowered her phone slowly. For the first time, she didn't record. She just stood there, watching, calculating. Then our eyes met briefly, directly, and in that moment, I saw it. The flicker. Not fear exactly, but something close. Doubt. She realized she might lose the one thing she never questioned control. It started with a knock, soft, hesitant. Marcus Reed, 2 doors down, quiet guy, always wore headphones. "I saw your face on the news," he said, "and I've seen hers before." He stepped inside, laid a folder on my table. Inside, screenshots, HOA emails, clipped videos, all centered on him. "She tried it with me last year," he said. "Accused me of blasting music at night. Said I was disturbing the peace." I was wearing noise-canceling headphones. He smiled, bitter. "I didn't fight back, I just moved my speakers. But I saved everything." I nodded. Not just out of thanks, but because for the first time I wasn't the only one. This wasn't a feud. It was a pattern. I didn't post often, but when I did, people noticed. At 10 a.m., I shared a single image, black background. White text. 8 p.m. tonight. Unedited, unfiltered. You decide. Caption, "Who really deserves to be canceled?" No tags, no hashtags. But within an hour, it spread. Screenshots landed in group chats. The HOA thread lit up. Some asked if it was a joke, others said it was a threat. Victoria didn't respond publicly, but I knew she saw it. I spent the rest of the day checking connections, testing audio, reviewing footage. It wasn't about revenge. It wasn't even about clearing my name. It was about showing the whole story start to finish before someone else rewrote the ending. By noon, the neighborhood message board started shifting. One post read, "Maybe we went too far with Ethan." Another, "I liked Victoria's updates." But lately, they feel personal. A quiet rift was forming. People who once reposted her stories now turned silent. Some deleted old comments. Others stopped liking her posts altogether. At the dog park, I overheard someone whisper, "She's not protecting us. She's performing." No one said her name out loud, but the tone had changed. Doubt had entered the room. Even silence spoke differently now, not cold, just unsure. And for the first time in weeks, the narrative wasn't hers alone. It was slipping one neighbor at a time. At 4 p.m., Victoria posted a reel. Footage of me alone pacing in my garage. Dark filter. Ominous music. Caption, "This is who you're defending." For a moment it worked. The shares climbed. Comments poured in. Then a quiet reply below, "That clip's been edited." I walked past. That day he was fixing his drone. Posted by Jamie Lives on the Corner. Neutral quiet. Never picked sides. Until now. She uploaded her own clip, unedited. Same time, same day. No filter, just facts. The shift was instant. Likes stalled. The original reel froze at 10K views. And beneath it all, one comment stuck like a crack in glass. If this was faked, what else was? 6:42 p.m. My phone rang. Victoria's name. First time she ever called. I let it ring once, twice, then answered. Ethan, her voice was warm, almost gentle. "I've been thinking. This whole thing got out of hand." Pause. "If you delete the footage, I'll take everything down too. No hard feelings. We can move on." She spoke like it was a favor, like she was offering peace. But I heard the edge beneath it. The panic dressed in politeness, the fear leaking through sugar. I didn't say a word, just listened, then hung up. And for the first time she didn't have a camera to twist that silence. Just the ticking clock. And 78 minutes left till 8 p.m. 8 Huzras p.m. The screen lit up. Hi, I'm Ethan Cole. And tonight, no filters. Tens of thousands tuned in. First, I played the full clip of Grace Lynn. No edits, no cuts, just a mother nursing her child, peaceful, private. Then, Victoria's version zoomed in, darkened, captioned, disturbing behavior in our park. Next slide, the anonymous message. Leave. Or be humiliated. Metadata linked the account to an IP from Victoria's guest Wi-Fi. Then, a reel from Marcus filmed months earlier. Victoria staging a noise complaint with fake footage. I looked into the camera. She doesn't just expose. She creates. The chat exploded. Finally. Expose her. Grace deserved better, and we'd only just begun. 8:12 p.m. I paused the live stream. Then uploaded a zip file, HOA internal chats, unfiltered. The chat blew up. Inside were messages from a private HOA group. Victoria's name appeared again and again. One message read, "If we highlight the worst behaviors, we get more reach. Pick a house each week. Keep the narrative tight." Another, "Grace is perfect emotional defensive. Let's frame her as unstable. And worse, don't worry about facts. People believe what makes them feel righteous." Gasps filled the comments. Screenshots flashed across Twitter, Reddit, Discord. Hattered HOA leaks trended instantly. I looked straight into the camera. This wasn't neighborhood watch, it was content farming, and the whole board knew. The betrayal hit harder than any rumor. Silence fell like a slap. 8:22 p.m. Mid-livestream, a new video dropped. Not from me. It came from @TruthSifter, one of Victoria's biggest fans. Former fan. The caption read, "I believed her until I saw this." The clip showed Victoria adjusting camera angles, telling a neighbor's kid to act louder, then whispering, "Cut here. We'll add angry music later." She laughed off script. Snapped, "No one cares if it's real. Just looks real." Millions watched as her brand of righteousness collapsed. I didn't even speak. Didn't need to. The betrayal twist hit deeper than anything I could have said. Her loyal base. Cracking. In the chat, she scripted everything. Was any of it true? No answers. Just exposed silence. By 9 a.m. the next morning, her channel was gone. TikTok banned for coordinated harassment. Instagram disabled. YouTube wiped clean. Someone posted a screenshot, her final follower count frozen mid-drop. Comments filled the void she left. Karma's got 1080p. Queen of HOA. More like Queen of Edits. One clip, just 5 seconds long, trended #1 Victoria pointing at a neighbor yelling, then tripping over her own lawn flamingo. Millions laughed. She became a meme. Not feared, not respected, mocked. The same voice that once silenced others was now buried under auto-tuned remixes. And the woman who made everyone watch their step couldn't take a single one without stumbling. 3 days later, her phone rang. Victoria didn't answer right away. She just stared at the screen. The caller ID said Beacon Strategies, HR. One ring, two, then silence. No voicemail, no follow-up. An hour later, LinkedIn lit up Victoria Harlow, no longer affiliated with Beacon Strategies. The HR statement was blunt. "We do not align with individuals who endanger or mislead communities." No press release, no chance to explain. Her name vanished from their website. Her inbox returned auto-replies. The speaking gig next month reassigned. She sat at her kitchen table, hands still screen dim. No camera, no edits, just the sound of one door quietly closing. That Friday, an emergency HOA meeting was called. No coffee, no cookies, just tension and folded arms. Victoria sat in the corner silent for once. Emotion was raised. Remove Victoria Harlow from all HOA positions effective immediately. For months, they feared her. Now, they faced her. One by one, neighbors raised their hands. Grace Lynn, Marcus Reed, even Jamie from the corner lot. 24 votes to remove. 0 against, no yelling, no drama. Just a quiet, unanimous decision. Victoria stood up slowly, eyes scanning a room she no longer owned. Nobody clapped. Nobody followed her out. Power didn't leave with her. It had already returned to the people she once filmed from behind blinds. She went live one last time. No filters, no captions. Just Victoria in her living room, eyes, red voice shaking. "I never meant to hurt anyone," she said. "I just wanted things to be better." She paused, waited for comments. There were none. 2 viewers, then 1, then 0. No outrage, no applause, only the quiet hum of her ceiling fan. For someone who built an empire on being watched, there was nothing left to see. The screen faded to black. No goodbye. No viral moment. Just silence, the one sound she never learned how to control. It came in a plain envelope. No return address. Just my name, handwritten. Inside, a short note: "Thank you for standing up when we couldn't. We owe you more than you know." A neighbor. No signature, no clue who sent it, but the handwriting trembled slightly, like whoever wrote it had been holding it in for too long. I read it twice, then folded it carefully and placed it in the drawer next to my tools. It didn't fix everything, didn't erase what happened. But for the first time in months, I felt something settle. Not peace exactly, just weight lifted. Not because it was over, but because someone finally said it mattered. A week later, 3 teens from the neighborhood launched a new channel, Be Kind Online. No drama, no call-outs, just stories about standing up, listening, and logging off when needed. In their intro video, a girl adjusted the tripod, her hands trembling slightly. The boy next to her whispered, "Is it rolling?" They nodded and hit record. The first clip featured Grace Lynn, soft smile voice, steady sharing how silence cut deeper than insults. Then Marcus, calm, honest, explaining what it felt like to be doubted and finally believed. Comments poured in, not viral, but growing, steady, real. "Thank you for this, I needed this." Following, learning. They didn't want views, they wanted change. And sometimes change starts with shaking hands and a phone pointed at truth. The street felt different now. Lawns trimmed, kids playing, no phones pointed, no whispers, just calm. At the end of the block, Victoria's house sat still. Curtains drawn tight, lights off even in the afternoon. No footsteps on the porch, no flyers, no staged updates. Once her voice filled every corner of this place. Now it's an echo no one repeats. Neighbors pass by without looking. Not in anger, just distance. The woman who once set the rules no longer sets foot outside. And the silence she once feared is now the only thing that stays. One quiet morning, I stepped onto my porch with a small wooden sign in hand. 3 lines. No branding, no decoration. Just words, no spying, no shaming, no fear. I screwed it into the gate gently, not to provoke, not to make a statement, just to remind. A few neighbors nodded as they passed. One gave a thumbs up. No one questioned it. It didn't need explanation. Everyone here had lived through the weight of silence, the heat of judgment. Now it was time for something smaller, something steady. A message that didn't shout. Just stood there quietly like a boundary we'd all forgotten we needed. If you've ever been targeted online, mocked, edited, erased, drop a comment. I survived. Say it for yourself. Say it for the ones still hiding behind locked profiles. Say it for the nights you couldn't sleep because someone turned your life into content. And if you've ever watched it happen, scrolled past it, winced, said nothing, share this story. Because silence feeds it. But your voice, it stops it. I was that silent one once. I let it grow until it reached me. But speaking up changed everything. This isn't just Ethan's story. It's mine. It's yours. It's ours, and it's not over. So choose, now. Survivor or witness. Either way, you belong in the light.